IONS have been vaccinated. And we are ready to welcome the new academic year.
Okay, good morning, students. Welcome back to our Gmat Gre webinar session. My name is Harry, and I'm here as your presenter. To this program. The difference between Gmat and Gre. Okay. Okay. I'm here representing real equivalent English. Okay, first thing first. Here are the sections on the Gmat. Gmat stands for Graduate Management Admission Tests. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 sections on Gmat. Namely Analytical Writing, Integrated Reasoning, Quantitative Reasoning. Both of them are quantitative sections. And we have Verbal Reasoning. Now we're going to see what next. How about the Gre exam sections? Okay. Now GRE stands for Graduate Record Examinations. I mean, generally speaking, Gmat and Gre, right now they are currently interchangeable. Like you can take either Gmat or Gre, but the highlight of today is to emphasis on the similarities and differences between them. Gre also has analytical writing, quantitative reasoning, and verbal reasoning. But the test design and test structures are a little bit different. I'll tell you later. Here is the Gmat analytical writing, which consists of one analysis, analysis of an argument. And the range of score is from 0 until 6. You have 30 minutes, and it consists only of one question. As the name suggests, it's the analysis of an argument. You are expected to analyze an argument objectively without including your personal opinion. The integrated reasoning sections on Gmat, it consists of the 30 minutes and 12 questions. And these are part of the sections, the subsection, graphic interpretation, table analysis, multi-source reasoning, and two-part analysis. As you can see, we are dealing with graphic information, and we have to synthesize information from different parts and different kinds of sources. It's like application of math. The quantitative reasoning section on Gmat consists of the 31 question, and it lasts for 62 minutes. We have data sufficiency, problem solving, and the score range from 6. Well, if you in case you're wondering, yeah, what kind of math we're dealing with, yeah, on Gmat, yeah, I would say basic mathematics skills from high school, yeah, until yeah, the first semester of the university. I suppose, yeah, most Indonesian students, yeah, they can manage the quantitative section very well, yeah. But the story is different in the verbal section. Here's the verbal reasoning on Gmat. Yeah, we have reading comprehension, critical reasoning, sentence correction. Um, it consists of 65 minutes, yeah, 36 questions, and the score is 6 until 51. As you can see, the verbal reasoning on GMAT focus on the and reasoning, yeah, not so much, yeah, for vocabulary, but focus on grammar, reasoning. Well, most students think that grammar is difficult, but I guess the real deal is vocabulary. Why? Because obviously English has more than 1 million vocabularies. Yeah. Now here's the magic number. Yeah. We have 8 minutes break, yeah, in between the section. It's up to you whether you want to take it or not because it's optional. But I recommend you to have interval, yeah, between the sections, yeah, because the 8 minute breaks, it's everything. The score for GMAT, yeah, for the quantitative and for the verbal, yeah, ranges, yeah, from 200, yeah, up to 800. So the highest score is 800. It's almost, it's, I think it's the same as the SAT. Yeah, the highest score is 800. And two-thirds, yeah, you know, statistically speaking, yeah, two-thirds of the test takers, yeah, they get the score, yeah, ranges from 400 until 600. But I guess if you want to go to a good business school, yeah, you should get at least 700 up to 760, I suppose. Yes, that should be the threshold, 760. The closer to 800, the more schools available for you. Here is the analytical writing for the GRE. Yeah, we have analyze an issue and analyze an argument. As you can see that we have more challenging analytical writing, yeah, on GRE, yeah, because here we have two questions. Yeah, each question consists of 15 minutes analysis. Analyze an issue, it's like giving your opinion, your educated opinion on an issue. And analyze an argument, yeah, it's I think it's equivalent to the GMAT, yeah, analytical writing, yeah, where you have to analyze an argument objectively without including your personal opinion. The range of score, yeah, from 0 until 6 with 0 point, I think, I mean, with half increments. So the score will increase with half increments. Okay, the quantitative reasoning on GRE, it consists of the arithmetic, algebra, geometry, and data analysis. Yes, as you can see, it's high school stuff. Yeah, if you still remember your math lessons from school, yeah. Here is the range of score, yeah, for the quantitative reasoning, yeah, starting from 130 until the highest score is 170. The section lasts for 35 minutes and each section consists of 20 questions. The verbal reasoning, yeah, on GRE, yeah, it lasts for 30 minutes and 20 questions, yeah, for each section. Well, the content, yeah, it's the verbal reasoning, yeah, consists of the reading and sentence completion, sentence equivalence. Yeah. Now, why GMAT? Yeah, why do we take GMAT? Well, because for example, yeah, 7,000 NDA and master programs that accept GMAT worldwide, and because it is widely acceptable in more than 110 countries, and also acceptable in more than 2,300 schools around the globe. That's quite massive statistics. Now, why GRE? Well, for the same reason, yes, yeah. GRE is supported by the fellowship sponsors, yeah, accepted by the business schools and law schools alike. Oh, here's the future roadmap. Yeah, what you're going to do. I will talk about more, but here's the future roadmap. Yeah, step one. Yeah, so you should watch our on present, yeah, in our webinars. Yeah, and then you can ask questions. Yeah, frequently ask questions. Yeah, and you can proceed to registration and ask for the test dates. Yeah, registration here, you can register for the test or you can register for the course preparation. Now, before you make any decisions, yeah, let us compare the difference between GMAT and GRE. Okay, first question is test payment. Yeah. So how much does it cost? Yeah. If we want to take a GMAT or GRE, yeah. Currently to the date, yeah. To my knowledge, at least, yeah. They test fee for GMAT, yeah, is $250 American dollars, yeah. And for GRE is $205, and that's um, net, yeah. So some test centers, yeah, might charge more for administration fee, but the basic, yeah, test fee is $250 for GMAT and $205 for GRE, depending on the accommodation. Yeah, if some test takers, yeah, require certain accommodation, yeah, for disabilities. So the numbers of business school, yeah, which accept GMAT and GRE, yeah, although I said earlier that GMAT and GRE are interchangeable, yeah, many business school, yeah, they still prefer GMAT over GRE. But the trend is positive. Yeah. More and more business schools now, yeah, are also accepting GRE. But majority of business school, yeah, they still prefer GMAT. Yeah. So as you can see, the first thing that comes to our minds when we talk about GMAT and GRE, GMAT is for someone who wants to go to business school, and GRE is for someone who wants to take a master degree in a general program. Well, when I talk about the GMAT and GRE, and I compare GMAT and GRE program here, I am referring to general subject tests, yeah, general GRE test, yeah, not subject test. The test duration now between GMAT and GRE, in total, the GMAT test duration approximately 3 hours and 7 minutes. Yeah, maybe it's less than 3 hours. Yeah, but GRE lasts longer. Yeah, GRE has 3 hours and 45 minutes, so it's almost 4 hours. Mhm. I have told you earlier that there's also the difference in the maximum test score. Yeah, so the maximum for GMAT is 800, and the maximum for GRE is 170 for each section. Now we will compare the relative difficulty, between the Gmat and Gre quantitative section and verbal section. Yeah, I'm going to talk about the quantitative section first. Yeah, from the test format and the types of questions, yeah, it's obvious that the Gmat, yeah, requires more quantitative skills, yeah, than Gre. Yeah, it's a bit more complicated and a bit more challenging. And also on Gmat, you are not allowed to use calculators. Gre, on the other hand, yeah, many test takers feel that the Gre quantitative section is relatively easier than Gmat, and also on Gre, yeah, the test takers are allowed to use calculators. Now the verbal section. Well, variable section on Gmat and Gre, yeah, they are both equally challenging, especially for non-native speakers. Yeah, based on my experience, for example, yeah, my engineering students, yeah, they in Indonesia, yeah, the students that I've taught so far, yeah, the engineering students, yeah, they score very well, yeah, on quantitative section. Yeah, some of them got all they got it all correct. But for the verbal section, now here's the real deal. So the problem for international students, yeah, the term that I use, yeah, to refer to non-native speakers, yeah, for the international students, yeah, the real deal is the verbal section, yeah, the writing and also the uh, verbal reasoning. Why? It's because it feels like, for example, yeah, in the math they can get 100% correct, but in English, maybe 30%, for example. Well, there's an anecdote, yeah, that says that for people who want to take GMAT and GRE, their IELTS score should be minimum 7, and that is a generous statement. Some even say that, yeah, even when you get 8 or 9 on IELTS, you're still struggling, yeah, when you deal with GMAT and GRE. I think the latter statement is closer to the truth. But the when we compare the GMAT and GRE verbal sections, yeah, we know that GMAT focus on the grammar and the reasoning, while GRE focus more on the vocabulary. Well, vocabulary, yeah, is the real challenge here because they use really challenging vocab, yeah, high level vocab, advanced vocab, the vocab that fewer people know. That's arcane. Some people say esoteric. Yes, yeah, because only GRE tend to use exotic vocabularies. That's how I describe it. Yeah, I mean, I hope you understand my reference and my allusion. Yeah, exotic vocabulary means it's like a rare species. Yeah, the words that we rarely use, yeah, in spoken English, but maybe circulating in academic circle, and it's very specific vocabulary. So I would like to recap, yeah, once again, yeah, the comparison between GMAT and GRE. GMAT quantitative is more difficult than GRE quantitative section. GRE verbal reasoning is more difficult than GMAT verbal reasoning. Yes, yeah, and then uh, GMAT has more quantitative section than GRE because GMAT has integrated reasoning. Yeah, GRE has experimental section. Experimental section. Yeah, when you have to do the question, answer the question as usual, but you don't know which question is experimental because the experimental section will not be counted against your score. Yeah, which means that it will not be included in your score, but it's for research purposes. Sometimes I feel that the the GRE test takers, yeah, they become guinea pigs, yeah, for the research companies. Okay, and GMAT, yeah, GMAT has shorter duration, yeah, shorter than GRE, yeah, and GRE is longer, yeah, but GMAT is also more expensive than GRE, yeah, because it costs $250. Um, but GRE costs only $205. Now, if you need uh, further information, you can contact us, yeah, on this phone number, or you can go to the email and the website, yeah. But right now, I'm going to give you some stories, yeah, tips and tricks, yeah, for the GMAT and GRE. Okay, so where do we begin, yeah, when we want to study GMAT and GRE? As I told you before, that maybe for the math section is not really a big deal for Indonesian students. Yeah, since we have good science program in Indonesia, we are always forced, yeah, to take science lesson, yeah, math, yeah, and all its friends, yeah. So I would say that, yeah, mathematically, the Indonesian student, especially from engineering, for example, yeah, they have good grasp, yeah, of numerical ability. So the main problems, yeah, on GMAT and GRE, yeah, I believe, yeah, lie in the verbal reasoning, yeah, and analytical writing. One time, yeah, I saw um, a test score, yeah, of someone who graduated from reputable university, and she also won a scholarship abroad, yeah. And when I checked, yeah, her GRE writing, yeah, it's only average. Yeah. And considering that she graduated from English program, yeah, that's even um, it gives me even more impression, yeah, that the writing and the verbal reasoning, yeah, are quite challenging, yeah. Now, so when we study, yeah, when we join the program, yeah, at least there are three things that we consider and that we will receive, yeah, throughout the program. For example, number one is the daily infusion of the grammar vocab, because no matter what test that you're taking, you always need, yeah, to study the raw materials. Yeah, you always need to enhance, and to advance your grammar and vocab. Yeah, that's the basis for everything. Yes. Yeah. And then number two, of course, yeah, it's indispensable. Yeah, you're going to study the tips and tricks. Yeah, test taking strategies. Yes. Yeah. And number three, yeah, in a test prep course, yeah, and I think this is one of the most important core of the program is the critical thinking, yeah, and analytical thinking course, yeah. Like, so it's even more extensive and expansive, yeah, because many GMAT and GRE questions, yeah, they require higher order thinking skills, yeah, namely analytical thinking and critical thinking. And for some Indonesian students, these terms, yeah, might sound abstract. These terms, yeah, might sound alien, yeah, to them, yeah. But actually, this is only part of the academic skills inherent, yeah, in all kinds of test prep course, yeah. Yeah, so whatever test prep course that you're taking, yeah, like TOEIC, TOEFL, IELTS, IBT, ACT, GMAT, GRE, you're going to have analytical thinking and critical thinking skills, yeah, because it's part of the test. And if you don't study them, yeah, it's gonna be difficult, yeah, to answer, yeah, logical based questions. And as the test progress and gradually becomes more difficult, and there will be more logical based questions. Now, so number one, it should be we should be realistic, yeah, in setting up our goals, our ambitions, yeah. Because, for example, yeah, people who want to go abroad, people who want to study abroad, they usually prepare themselves, yeah, 6 months, yeah, up to 1 year before their departure. Now, 6 months seems like a bit rush. Yeah, 6 months is like everything moves so fast, everything changes so fast, and we don't have time to breathe. Yeah, and that 6 months preparation, it's a very intensive and rigorous training. I'd say that, yeah, if you have time for 1 year, yeah, you can have a more realistic program for yourself. Yeah, because there's a lot to learn and there's a lot of paperwork and document to sign, to verify, legalize, things like that. And it also related to your English language training, yeah, your test prep course, yeah, because what score you want to achieve, which school that you want to apply for, yeah, it all depends on the results of your test, yeah, your test letter. It all depends on your basic competence in English, yeah, or your proficiency. Now, the English proficiency, there are some English proficiency tests, yeah, but I must tell you that GMAT and GRE, they are not English proficiency tests. The English proficiency test, for example, yeah, you can choose IBT, TOEFL, or IONS. But GMAT, GRE, yeah, they focus more on the academic skills, yeah, which you have developed, yeah, for a long time, yeah, and then you're going to use these academic skills in order to survive your MBA programs or master degree programs. So once again, GMAT and GRE, they are not English proficiency tests. Yeah, in fact, they are, I think, closer to intelligence tests. Okay, yeah, that's number one, yeah, which means that people assume, yeah, or us, I'm sorry, I mean schools and universities in USA and Europe, they assume that, yeah, once you have taken GMAT and GRE, it means you are done, you are finished, yeah, with your language learning or with your language acquisition. It means that you have no problems whatsoever with your English. Mm, I think that's a false assumption. I mean, international students, of course, yeah, they are struggling with the grammar and vocab. So number one, yes, yeah, it's important to have a good command in English. Yeah, it's important to have a full grasp, yeah, of grammar and vocabulary. Yeah, it's indispensable. Yeah. So that's number one. You can study grammar and vocab. Yeah, you have to choose the materials. Yeah, you have to take the courses. Yeah, and you need to have a study plan. Yeah, and you should follow your study plan accordingly. You need intensive and rigorous training in order to pass the test. Because I would say that GMAT and GRE, they are probably the most difficult language tests. Yeah, that I have encountered so far. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you can imagine, even the Americans, yeah, the native speakers, yeah, they are struggling when doing the verbal reasoning and analytical writing section on GMAT and GRE. Not to mention, yeah, international students or non-native speakers. Yeah, so the burden is double. And the test taking strategy, yeah, test tips, yeah, it's also related to the test formats, yeah, related to the test format, yeah. For example, for example, because it's computer adaptive test, yeah, computer adaptive test means that the first question that you receive, yeah, will be medium level of difficulty. Now, the computer afterwards, yeah, will adapt, yeah, to your level of competence. Yeah, if you get the medium level question correct, the computer will increase the difficulty. And if you get if you answer the difficult question correct, and then the difficulty will keep increasing. Yeah. But yeah, if you keep getting easy questions, yeah, that should be a red flag. Yeah, that should be a warning that you might have a lower score. Yeah. So that's the meaning of the computer adaptive. Yeah. It also means that you cannot skip, you cannot return, and you cannot choose, yeah, which question. Yeah. So which means that you cannot leave a question blank. You must keep going. You must keep going forward. Yeah. You must answer all the questions. and um, and the third question is about logical based question. And as I told you before, that the GMAT, yeah, is more well structured. Yeah, more the GMAT has, yeah, more about reasoning and grammar. Yeah, so it's more structured, yeah, than GRE, because GRE focus on the vocab. Yeah, yeah, which means, yeah, on GMAT they have a critical reasoning section. That is what I can say, a shred of a pigment of formal logic. Yeah, so you might want to review, yeah, some syllogism concept. Yeah, like um, for example, what is a premise, what is an argument, yeah, what is a conclusion, yeah, because it's going to be tested. Yeah. Okay. Now, so you might want to ask questions, yeah, like how about the scoring system, yeah, and how about the test validity? Well, the test validity, I have learned that, yeah, it lasts for 5 years. Yeah, yeah, so 5 years, yeah, time span. Yeah, so you can take the test and it's valid for 5 years. Yeah. And the scoring system, yeah, as we've learned before, um, yeah, the highest score for GMAT is 800, yeah, and the highest score for GRE is 340 for 2 sections and 170 for 1 section. Yeah. So if we want to become realistic, so what is the range of acceptable scores? Yeah, for many schools and universities abroad. Yeah, I would say that for GMAT you should get minimum 700, and for GRE 160, yeah, for each section. Yeah, that should be a safe bet. Yeah. Now, what are the tips, for example, yeah, to learn the analytical writing and to learn the verbal reasoning? Yeah. For the analytical writing, yeah, number one, yeah, we must understand the question, yeah, the test format and the question. For example, yeah, on GMAT, yeah, there is analyze an argument. Yeah. Analyze an argument means that we have to analyze, yeah, the argument objectively without including our personal opinion. Now, being objective is kind of hard. Yeah. The research, yeah, has suggested that many university students, yeah, even after graduating from bachelor degree, yeah, it's still difficult for them to become objective. Yeah. And some students, for example, yeah, who graduate from, for example, math, yeah, or philosophy, psychology, medical science, they still need additional hours, yeah, to study what it means to become objective. So it's difficult to become objective, yeah, because we also need to learn a set of logical rules, yeah, formal logic rules. Yeah, we should be consistent in thinking. Yeah, we should put aside our feelings. Yeah, and we should fight off our bias. Yeah, there are a lot of logical fallacies and cognitive bias, yeah, in order to be objective. There are hundreds of them. Yeah, I mean, if you read, yeah, the list one by one, yeah, you might find you yourself, yeah, in one of them. I did in the past. Yeah. Okay. So that's the meaning of the objectivity. And then number two, the uh, language, the level of language required. Yeah, yeah. Many students, yeah, I observe, yeah, when they write analytical writing essay, yeah, they are still struggling with their tone. Yeah, when I say tone, I mean the language register. So they still confused, yeah, between the spoken English and written English, yeah, informal English and formal English, yeah, between conversational English and academic writing, yeah. So I must make it precise. I must make it exact, yeah. The level of language, yeah, the register acceptable for the GMAT and GRE, they are formal, academic, yeah, and standard written English. Yeah. So I repeat, yeah, it's formal, academic, standard written English. Yeah. Now, why do students, yeah, they keep writing informal English and spoken English? Yeah, it's because maybe, for example, yeah, they don't get used to writing academic English, yeah, or maybe there is intrusion of spoken English, yeah, and maybe they don't realize that, yeah, academic writing is a whole new world, yeah, different from a conversational or daily English, yeah, the English that we speak every day. Yeah, that's number one. Yeah, so they might want to adjust their grammar points. Yeah, they might want to adjust their level of the vocabularies. Yes, yeah, and they also need to use specific terms. Yeah, specific jargon. Yeah, for the subject that they are writing. And then understanding the question, yeah, of the analytical writing on GMAT and GRE, yeah, it requires deep analysis and critical thinking. Yeah, we should be able, yeah, to tell, yeah, which part is different, which part is important, which part is not necessary, and we should understand, yeah, the nature of the task, yeah, what the task is asking you to do, yeah, before you write, yeah, set up a plan, yeah, and work systematically, yeah. So basically the approach is simple, yeah, we create a planning, yeah, and then we execute the plan, yeah, do the writing itself, and then editing and proofreading. Most students, yeah, they just jump into the execution, the writing, and they forget the planning and editing, proofreading altogether. But I would say, yeah, the thing that will increase your score drastically is the planning, proofreading, and editing. It will increase your score. Yeah, yes, yeah, because you can correct some mistakes. Yeah, you can save yourself from stupid mistakes. Yeah, you can improve your writing in several parts, yeah, and it will not take much of your time. Yeah, for example, maybe for planning you just need 1 2 minutes, yeah, and for editing, yeah, 2 or 3 minutes, yeah, that should be sufficient. And in writing, yeah, I also observe in analytical writing, um many Indonesian students still think that because it's English composition, then we must write something related to fiction. Nope. Yeah, academic writing is not fiction. Yeah, academic writing, yeah, is academic writing piece, yeah, which will be used in academic circle. So we must use logic, yeah, we must use factual information, yeah, our writing should be evidence based, yeah, and our statement must be supported by reasoning, examples, data, yeah, supporting details, yeah, yeah, in order to have a good structure, right? Yeah. So many of my students I observe, yeah, when they write, yeah, they write regular ordinary essay. Some people say a high school essay. Yeah. I don't know if they understand the severity of the question, the magnitude of the problem. Yes, yeah, but they tend to produce mediocre essay. Yeah, maybe because they have a wrong perception about English. Yeah, maybe they think that, oh, it's a English test, yeah, so I must write like in English composition class. Yeah, I must use some reference to fiction. No, not at all. Yeah, but remember, English is a lingua franca in academic circle. So researchers, lecturers, academicians from all over the world, they all use English. Yeah, so it's necessary. Yeah, English is just a tool a medium that we use. Yeah, to convey information and to analyze data and so on. Yeah. So that's how we should perceive English. Yeah, because English is the language, yeah, widely used in academic circle. And one more thing that I observe in analytical writing, yeah, if it's not about the argument essay, yeah, about the issue essay, yeah, the ideas development, yeah. So the readers, yeah, remember your readers, yeah, are well-educated people. The examiners are well-informed people, yeah. So you might want to respect their intelligence, yeah, and you want to keep them entertained, yeah, meaning that, yeah, you want to tell them something they don't know, yeah, something that will spark their interest, something that will spice up your essay. So if you just use everyday language, or if you just produce or generate average ideas, yeah, maybe it will not interest, yeah, people who are knowledgeable, yeah, people who are highly intelligent, and as a result, yeah, you will get the low rating. Right, that is a few tips, yeah, for the analytical writing. Yeah, the most important one, remember, understand the question. Now I'm gonna talk about the verbal section. Yeah, how to develop vocabulary. Yeah, how to handle long reading comprehension, and um, and how to study grammar. Yeah. Well, where do I start? Yeah, with the vocabulary. Um, as I told you in the beginning of these webinars, yeah, Gmat and Gre, yeah, measure your academic skills, yeah, and academic skills, yeah, are developed throughout the time. So it's not the skills that you get, yeah, in one night, yeah, but yeah, you must develop it little by little, little but often, yeah, throughout the years. Yeah. So you need to create a study plan how to develop vocabulary. Yeah, for example, yeah, I myself is an avid reader. Yeah, and I do extensive reading. One of the best way to study vocabulary is by reading. Yes, yeah. When I also want to tell you that I don't just read the books, yeah, related to my field, yeah, but extensive reading means, yeah, we read books and we read English materials from different sources. So I read books, yeah, journals, articles, yeah, magazines, yeah, from many sources, yeah. But I also read things that interest me, yeah, um, things that might be related, yeah, to the test prep, yeah, and yeah, newspapers and magazines, they can provide you with a level of vocabulary, yeah, yeah, that you can handle, yeah. But academic textbook and journal, yeah, might be more challenging. Okay, yeah. So I want to put the vocabulary in context, yeah. So we can learn vocab, yeah, in use, yeah. So it's not just we uproot the vocab from the context, but we put the vocab in context, yeah. So we know how to use it and when to use it. That's number one. Some traditional way to study vocab is also making your vocab journal, yeah. Like your vocabulary journal, yeah. It's maybe If you don't want to have a journal, you can have portable notes that you can bring wherever you go. Yeah, that's also good. Yeah. But my point is, yeah, to make vocabulary or to make your learning process as part of your day. Yeah. So for example, yeah, when you go somewhere and you have 5-10 minutes, yeah, then you can flip the pages, yeah, on your phones, yeah, and find the vocab that you want to review. Yeah, 5-10 minutes, it's okay. Yeah. And you need to have a target, yeah, like in 1 week, yeah, how many vocabs do you want to study? Yeah, normally people study 20 up to 50 vocab per day, normally. Okay. And another way to study vocab is to actually use the vocab in speaking and writing. So in speaking and writing, you always need to come up with the new vocab you just learned. Yeah, use the vocab in speaking, use the vocab in writing. Yeah, so you can really sense the vocab. You can really sense you build up the skills. Yeah, and you can really understand, yeah, how to use the vocab in context too. And more classical way to study vocab is also review the list of the vocab from the books, yeah, and most importantly, yeah, is to do vocabulary exercise regularly, yeah, based on your level. Yeah. So as I told you before, yeah, where you want to end up, yeah, depends on where you start. Yeah. If, for example, your English is upper intermediate, yeah, after you finish the program, probably you will end up in on advanced level. Yeah, if your English is already advanced, yeah, and after you finish the program, yeah, you will get, yeah, the score that you want, or you can expand your knowledge and your horizon, yeah, by studying more about English. But it depends on where you started, your starting point. Now, how to study grammar? Grammar is quite predictable. So I would say grammar is easier than vocabulary. I mean, relatively easier than vocabulary, except for one part in grammar, yeah, which can be very complicated. I should warn you from the beginning. Style, writing style. Why? Because writing style, it's hard to judge, yeah, which style is acceptable, which style is not acceptable. I mean, there are a lot of varieties, yeah, and standards, yeah. But I also have recommendation, yeah. Okay, before we talk about style, yeah, how to study grammar, yeah. We have to study grammar systematically and methodically, yeah, based on our levels, our current levels, yeah. And we can use interactive method like multimedia, or we can use books and courses, yeah. But of course, yeah, the most practical way, yeah, to study grammar is by practicing the uh, test prep questions, yeah, or test prep books. It's quite fun actually. Yeah, grammar is like mathematics. It's predictable. It's definite. Yeah, the answer never changes. Yeah, and it's solid. So if we have solid skills in grammar, we can be sure that we will always be 100% correct. That's what I like about grammar. It's very predictable. Well, statistically speaking, I think you just need to review around 600 grammatical rules. Well, it's only 600, yeah, and it's good number. After memorizing 600 grammar rules, that's it, yeah. You'll be fine, you will be doing fine. There you go. Yeah, I can trust, yeah, that, yeah, you will use your skills properly and you will survive the test. Minimum 600 rules in grammar. There you go. And for the style, I believe, yeah, there's one book that I can recommend, The Element of Style. And you can also find the reference in Oxford Style. Yeah. That's two books, Oxford Writing Style, two books that I can recommend, yeah, to solve your problems, yeah, with grammar, especially, yeah, in style. Now, for the logical based questions, yeah, How do we study logic? Yeah. Well, I study language logic. Yeah, the skills that which are needed and necessary, the skills that are required for the to answer the GMAT and GRE questions. Yeah. So I myself, yeah, I study a little bit of philosophy, like I told you, a shred of formal logic. I study the meaning of the objectivity, yeah, the rules of the formal logic, yeah, and the cognitive biases and logical fallacies. Yeah. So basically, I just focus on that. Yeah, and then I also study the pattern of the test. Yeah, like for example, the process of elimination is actually the pattern of the test. Yeah, by studying the tips and tricks, test taking strategies, yeah, and the logic of the test, yeah, we can understand how the test maker, how the test writers, yeah, make the test by putting ourselves in the shoe of the test makers. Yeah, we are studying the test. Why? Because the tests are is studying us, yeah, as the subjects. I told you before that the GRE use experimental section to study the reaction of the test takers. Yeah. And I am a GMAT GRE tutor, test prep tutor. Yeah, I'm studying the test with my students. Yeah, so when we understand the patterns, yeah, we know that the test there can be predictable. Yeah. Well, even though the test maker, yeah, they claim that the test is not coachable, like, I mean, no training that can help you pass the test. I would say that that statement is partially correct. Yes, we can learn the test, and yes, the test, yeah, it can be learned, can be studied. The test is structured, and the test is predictable. Because if the test does not have structure, and if the test is not predictable, then we cannot call it standardized test. Yeah. That's the paradox. Yeah. Right. So guys, yeah, I would like you. I strongly suggest you to take the program, yeah, at the real equivalent. Yeah, we have GMAT and GRE program. Yeah. Why I recommend you the programs is because yeah, I have compared, yeah, the results of my students who study alone and the students who study with the programs. Yeah. The students who study alone, some of them, yeah, are disciplined, some of them are not. So it's hard to study alone because you need several requirements, yeah, before you can study independently. For example, yeah, you need study resources, yeah, all the good books, multimedia, yeah, and maybe environment, yeah, to study, like study group, like GMAT study group, GRE study group, something like that. And then number two, you need to be an avid reader. You need to be uh, number cruncher, right? So you need to balance your study between the verbal reasoning and quantitative reasoning. And imagine if you're not good at both of them, or you're only good at one side. Yeah, you need a study partner. And then when you have questions, yeah, it's gonna be difficult to access people, yeah, or resources that can provide you with a guaranteed answers, yeah, or quality answers. Yeah. Now, what about my student, yeah, who study with the program? For example, we have intensive and rigorous program, yeah, at real equivalent. Yeah. Well, the teachers are highly qualified, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Um, they are mostly graduated from universities abroad and well trained in their, and they have expertise, yeah, well trained in their field, yeah, experience in teaching those programs, yeah. But more than that, yeah, I think most importantly, it's because our teachers are dedicated, yeah, and they have great personality, and they are people who genuinely, yeah, want to help you to pass the test, yeah, and because, yeah, their passion is uh, teaching, learning, helping students, yeah, to grow and learn together. I think that's what I can say, yeah, the treasure, yeah, of the tutors, yeah, or the professional teachers, yeah, that handle the program. And Also, because the program, yeah, will also provide you not only with these facilities, yeah, but also the community, yeah, learning community, yeah. So we can exchange information, yeah, learn together, yeah, and make friends at the same time. Okay, guys, yeah, as closing, yeah, I would like to say thank you, yeah, for participating and viewing this program, yeah, and I hope to see you soon, yeah, in our program, to see you in class, yeah, and I will be available, yeah, to answer your questions or any queries, yeah, in the contact numbers that I have provided before, and that's all for me. Yeah. Thank you for today, and I'll see you again, yeah, in another program. Have a nice day.